Hey guys, Grant here for dropshipdownunder.com.au. Today I'm going to talk about the PLAs and do they work? Let's dive in. Alright, so a lot of people ask us questions about the PLAs, and mostly because a lot of people find it difficult to set them up. And they ask, is it worth it? Should I be doing it? Should I be getting the PLA set up? Or, you know, should I go through this entire process and make sure it happens? And look, I'm the first to admit that setting up the Google PLAs is not the easiest thing in the world when you're first starting out. There's lots of things that you've got to go through step by step to make sure that they're set up correctly and make sure that they actually work. And look, like I said, I'm the first to admit that's not an easy process. When I very first started our first store, I struggled with that too. It took me maybe a couple of days probably to actually get it all set up properly and make sure that they were working. But the fact of the matter is they do work, and once you get them up and running, you should have a steady flow of traffic. And obviously there's a number of things that depend on how much traffic and how many sales you're going to get from that, and it's obviously to do with ad spend as well. So you need to be, you know, spending a decent amount of money on the PLAs and, you know, AdWords in general, basically to get a decent amount of traffic through to your site. It's all a numbers game, and obviously you've got to, the more people you actually get to the site, the more chance you've got to actually sell a product. But talking about percentages, I'll just give you an example from, like I said, with our first store when we first started. I did nothing fancy. I basically just got the PLAs up and running, just so that they were showing to people. At that point there, we were doing it around about 1 to 3. So for every dollar in, we got about 3 out. And we found that after a little while, the PLAs themselves, actually the Google product listing ads, the ones with the images, they weren't working as well as just the text ads. So we actually abandoned the actual PLAs, the product listing ads, and in favor of the actual text-based ads. All right, so you need to keep an eye on these too, because sometimes, like with our product, we weren't doing so well with the PLAs, but when we actually switched back to just the plain text-based ads, we actually increased the amount of revenue that we got. So after we did that, we ended up doing about 1 to 4. So we were putting $1 in, getting 4 out, and that was obviously made a huge difference in our business. So you've got to keep an eye on that as well. Obviously there's a lot of different types of paid advertising you can be doing, and you know, there's lots of stuff on Facebook, and I'm heavily into that at the moment, but I'm not going to get into that right this second. The main reason for this video was to address those questions we get about the PLAs. Yes, they do work. Just roughly, like I said, it's about 1 to 4 for just as an example, and it's never going to be set in concrete that that's the number, but that's what we found when we first set up ours. So we were doing nothing fancy, we were beginners. That's what we found that we were able to achieve: 1 in 4 with the text-based ads, and around about 1 in 3 for the actual product listing ads. So hope that gives you some value. Hope you've got them all set up correctly, and if you don't, just reach out to us and we should be able to give you a hand. But yeah, give us a thumbs up if you like the video. Don't forget to subscribe, and as always, head over to dropshipdownunder.com.au and check out the awesome dropshipping course we've got right here in Australia, made for Australia, to begin dropshipping in Australia, not overseas. All right guys, cheers.